Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com, coming to you a look at Game 117-118, the SEC Championship game between Georgia and LSU. LSU a 7-point favorite, total of 54.5 for this one. Over at BangTheBook.com, we got thoughts on all of the conference championship games, including my college football power ratings here for Week 15. We've also got a bunch of NFL content coming your way to go along with daily stuff in the NBA, college basketball, and the NHL, including Parker Michaels' daily article, a must-read every single day. Also, every Monday through Friday, you can check out Bang the Book Radio. You can find the segments right here on our Bang the Book YouTube page, or you can find us wherever you stream or download your podcast content. Here we go. It is the SEC Championship game. LSU already in the college football playoff. Georgia would be in the college football playoff with a win here this weekend in Atlanta, and LSU a 7-point favorite, total of 54.5 for this one. You know, unlike a lot of the games here for this week for the conference championships, not a whole lot of line movement here on this game at all. All of these lines very, very tight at this time of the year, but this game seems to be especially tight with the lack of activity that we've seen so far. When you look at these two teams, I think you got a lot of questions here in this game. Can LSU stop the run? They're 31st in yards per carry allowed for the season at 3.68. However, they've allowed 4.33 yards per carry in their 8 conference games. They held their 4 non-conference opponents to just 2.15 yards per carry. So in SEC play, teams have been able to run the football a little bit on this LSU defense. Now, on the flip side, I think it's fair to wonder if Georgia can stop this kind of passing attack. Georgia's defense has played very well throughout the season, has bailed out the offense a few times this year, but find me a passing attack, anything close to what this LSU one brings to the table. I guess you could say Kyle Trask and the Florida Gators, but they're not really known as a prolific passing offense, though Trask did play very well after taking over for Felipe Franks. Kellen Mond at Texas A&M? No, not really. Missouri used a backup. They didn't even have Kelly Bryant, who was kind of underwhelming with the Tigers anyway. Kentucky can't throw a forward pass, although they don't really need to with the season that Lynn Bowden Jr. has been having. Ryan Helinski at South Carolina, he's a true freshman. He's had his problems throughout the year. Tennessee has rotated quarterbacks. Georgia did face Ian Book in the non-conference, but he's not exactly a prolific passer either. So I think it's very fair to have some questions about this Georgia defense coming into this game where, yes, they're very good against the run, but can they stop Joe Burrow and this LSU passing attack? That's an altogether different story. And keep in mind here, too, that both Kyle Trask and Kellen Mond put up some decent numbers in their respective starts against Georgia. Georgia's offense here, and this is a concern for me going into this game, they are tied for 80th in plays of 20 or more yards, tied for 61st in plays of 30 or more yards, and tied for 67th in plays of 40 or more yards. So Georgia's offense is simply not explosive. LSU, on the other hand, 3rd in plays of 20-plus yards, 5th in plays of 30-plus yards, 10th in plays of 40-plus yards. So LSU can move the ball in chunks. That's another reason why I'm wondering if this Georgia defense can hold up. Now, of course, if Georgia's offense is able to run the football, Georgia moves at a very slow pace offensively. We know that they're pretty proficient running the football. So if they can move the ball and keep LSU off the field, that would definitely give Georgia a much better chance here in this game. Georgia in the red zone, 4th in red zone scoring percentage against, 5th in touchdown percentage against. And we did see Auburn keep it close against LSU by having some red zone success, holding them the chances at 3, keeping them out of the end zone. If Georgia's able to do the same thing, maybe this is a situation where they can keep this game a little bit closer, as LSU, 2nd in the country in red zone scoring percentage, 9th in touchdown percentage. Now, what am I going to do with this game? Because I think there are 2 very big questions about these 2 teams, and the answers to those questions could very well dictate not only who wins the game, but also who covers the game and where this total ends up going. I think if you find a 7.5, you can make a case for Georgia, because I do think this is a lower scoring game. I do like the under 54.5 here. Georgia's not explosive, but they don't turn the football over. LSU, they're not going to get short fields in this game, and LSU doesn't turn the football over either. So we could be asking both of these teams to make some sustained drives in order to go down and score points. My line on the game here is 6, and I gave Georgia a point for home field simply because they're more accustomed to this setting, having played in this game a few times here of late, and of course, much shorter travel for them. But again, my raw power rating number is 6 on this game in a neutral setting for these two teams, and it is debatable if you really have to give Georgia any sort of home field advantage here with the big spotlight that a program like LSU is accustomed to. So I think this line is very tight. Again, under 54.5 where I would start with a pregame position. And I would look to live bet this game. If Georgia gets up early, they are the kind of team that can squat on a lead, really shorten the game, take a long time between plays. That would be exceptional for a live betting under. I don't know if it's great for taking Georgia, but it is good for a live betting under. And if LSU gets up early in this game, I think that they can put a little bit of distance in this one, because if Georgia has to throw the football, they just don't create enough explosive plays in the passing game. So if LSU gets up early, maybe look for an opportunity to take LSU live. Maybe you look for an over because Georgia would have to throw the football a little bit more. But I think this game does set up really well for live betting opportunities. And again, my pregame look here, under 54.5 between Georgia and LSU. I'm Adam Burke for BangTheBook.com.